What's going on, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Snapchat. And guys, we've been talking about the brand new card Prodigy, who is going to be a bit on the lackluster side, but to make up for it, we have a lot of new and exciting cards that probably, Alex, are going to change Snap the most that we've seen in quite some time with the Fantastic Four and the first steps and that whole season. And then you guys said it by popular demand, we're bringing back the Reddit review. A lot of you guys liked it, and it will be returning. And as always, I am joined by the one, the only, Mr. Alex Kocha. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing good. I'm just trying to get over the fact that you're not wearing headphones. You look so different.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen your ears before.
Well,
I've seen your ears once
I've done this on one other. So Mr. Alex here is heading to PAX East. So we are recording pretty early, and my headphones are dead because this is how we make the magic happen. This is how we ensure we get a podcast each week. So we found the perfect pocket of time to film this. And Alex, you headed to PAX East, man. I tried to talk to Snap Team, try to make it happen. It's not going to happen. I will not be joining you, but you excited to hit up the good old PAX East?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm really looking forward to it. It's great because you get to meet a lot of members of the community as well. PAX East, there's a huge amount of Snap players there. And obviously, you have the Penny Arcade card backs, and Mike from Penny Arcade, their artist, has been. I think there's going to be an album, maybe even next week. Could be out today or tomorrow when this goes live. So yeah, like, it's actually pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to it, and I actually have 6 commander decks ready.
Yes.
3 altar decks. I got so much stuff ready,
So
and I
fun.
don't even know how I'm going to pack it all. So
It's so fun. Like I'm super sad I can't go this year. Last time I went was all for Snap, so like it was super busy anyway, but we still made it happen. And then like Alex was there, and they're like, Alex, we had him. I like ran into you, right? Quote unquote. I didn't even see that though. Where did they even post that? I don't even think I ever saw it.
I don't think they used all the footage we had, because yeah, it was you and Felicity were there on Snap Business, and I happened to be there anyway because I'm just a huge PAX stan. I've always been a Penny Arcade guy. And so then at the time, Infinite Veritas was like, let's get Alex into some of these. Like, see, he's here. Why not like get him into some of these? And so we did some really fun stuff together. I really remember that. It was hilarious. And for what it's worth, Cozy is by far the best like dude on the street interviewer. You have this confidence about you will walk up to anyway. You will walk up to someone's grandmother and ask them who their favorite Snap card is. Right? It's completely wild how like you're actually perfect walking around with a microphone. There's literally no one as good as Cozy Snap.
Well, dude, first of all, thank you. So before Snap, and a lot of people know this. In fact, somebody on a Rivals video, like one that was like went off on views, but someone was like, dude, didn't you do? No, you've come a long way since doing Mario Kart with strangers. And I think like that's, I think I've always said this, but in consecration, streaming is the hardest medium to do. It's very hard to constantly be on your feet and talking, right? Because you don't have a recording, and it trained me best to be a content creator. But what I used to want to do is like streaming from my studio wasn't enough, so I would go out and just like turn on a live feed, and then I would just get random people, a hobo versus a guy in the military, and I would have them play off in Mario Kart, and just random interactions. And that I feel like taught me more than anything. Like, you have to get so comfortable with yourself and then find a perfect balance of not being annoying, because I feel like in this day, everyone has a phone, and everyone has a device to film now, and so like there's more and more like annoying people than there are like fun, almost in my eyes. But I always think it's the most enjoyable content to film, because you don't know what you're gonna get, and like your assets, the things in your video are random people that could do anything. I think it's a killer time.
I think one of the benefits you have too is you're not like some teenage kid pranking people and acting like a clown. You got some, young stud muffin walking up to you with a microphone asking you about Mario Kart. You're like, yeah, I'll talk to this guy about Mario Kart. Why wouldn't I, right? He's wearing running shoes on the beach, but I'll forgive it because he's an absolute stud muffin.
I'll have to bring it back. I don't know. I used to have my pregnant wife be the one that would like lug out the equipment with me, like just a different era, man. Different time, different era. But yeah, I'm super sad to miss PAX, especially because of how much more I've dipped into Magic too. So just like wanting to play with you, wanting to hang out, and also just kind of like check out the floor more. Again, last time I was so busy, but times have changed. A lot of people, I would say, since the beginning of Snap, anyone that I communicated with outside of Glenn, who was a little bit later, they're either not there anymore. Actually, they're pretty much not there anymore. Like, a lot of the team has either moved on and doing something else, or they're gone. One of the two. And it's sad. It's like weird that you see this transition. Like, I was watching the other day, this 20-year the documentary on Oblivion, and they went back and watched it. The same people that created that game, and they were all in the same room. And like one of the number one comments was like how rare it is for any company to keep somebody for 20 years, yet alone a video game, publisher and or people within the realm of who makes video games. So I think it's really special that they can do that, Bethesda. But yeah, sadly, I think my days of doing some of the marketing stuff for Snap are over. But who knows? We'll see.
Listen, at the end of the day, you're by far one of the most talented people in the Snap ecosystem. And yeah, even if they're a little salty about your absolute insane rival success, that just increases your reach and increases your capabilities, in my opinion, to bring more brand exposure to them. So I see absolutely no reason why Cozy Snap should not be getting call number one anytime there's an event for Snap, buddy. Like, honestly, you're still the king.
I'll do it for free too, man. I just want to first of all, I love you. I just want to do it because it's fun. Like, I think it's just fun to do. I think it's just a very like half the stuff that I've done for them was free because I just thought it was cool to do, right? Like it's a cool opportunity to do, I don't know. I'm living the dream, man. I'm talking about video games like for a job.
Yeah, I know.
So
and I think about that too, because like when we did the Deadpool's Diner casting together, that was a highlight of my career. Like I had so much fun. I really do hope that not only myself, but together we get an opportunity to do some stuff in the future for Snap, because
yeah, man, for sure.
I don't know, man. I think that we just might have a history and be able to kind of riff off each other a little bit. So I think it might be good content. Small
bit, man. Well, speaking of, dude, let's go and jump into today's Snapchat. So we're going to talk about Prodigy, probably not that much. But we're also going to be talking about Fantastic Four, which this was the first time. So I put together some custom art with them quickly. So the art you're going to see today is not the ones that are going to be there. But this is the first time I'm seeing the cards at all. Have you seen them at all? Do you know anything about them?
No. I didn't even know they got leaked.
That's even better.
Last time I looked, they were placeholders, but with no text. So yeah, you're hitting me for the first time here.
Heck yeah, dude. That's what I like. Whenever I saw them, I'm like, cool. I'm not even going to think about it. I want to do it with Alex for the first time. But Alex, we know what we're talking about over here. What are we talking about on your side of the Snapchat?
Cozy, on my side of the Snapchat, we're going to be discussing both Surge and Esme in review. We're going to be talking about our first impressions of the card and how it's performing in the general first few days of Marvel Snap. We're also going to be talking about the hot and rising cards, the cards that are really starting to emerge in the meta, the surprise shakers and movers, and then, as always, our Snapchat mailbag.
Well, bud, let's get right to it. Let's talk about Prodigy, the 3-cost 4-power card, and I'm still convinced you need to upgrade to these shades, man. I mean, just look at the drip. You would be the coolest kid, the coolest teacher at the school with those. They don't even have, I don't even know how they're on his head. They don't even have like, it's just all lens.
They're just floating on his face?
Kind of.
Maybe they're hugging his nose.
Yeah, a very tight grip there. The future, man. Forget superpowers. I want to know.
Bro. So future, I know that like augmenting people is like kind of popular, like the Deus Ex type thing. You put a magnet in your face, and then you put a magnet on the glasses, so they just like, and they just stick to your face. You don't even need the ear things.
Like Wi-Fi in your shoes, kind of thing. Like connected, the shoes don't work unless they're on the Wi-Fi. And like, all these are great ideas. We just need to pitch them to Apple and make it happen. Like I think we could get it done. But hey, listen, on reveal. If this is in the back row, copy the text of the card in front of it. Alex, it's a 3-cost. It's a 4-power. And last time we just rated him last week, and we both weren't very high up on the card for a lot of reasons, and mainly that there's just so much kind of going against him. We played with the back and front row mechanic, and you've got that, but then you also have, just timing and things you can't control and locations that can change. And there's so many different things that can happen. Not to mention card draw, being one of the biggest ones and playing out. So where did you change your mind at all on Prodigy within a week? Kind of where do you land on him right now?
So I really wanted to move up to at least a 2.5, and I don't think I can do it. I think I still have to stay at a 2-star because we did get some confirmation. And it's funny how things work sometimes. Like we record these early enough where sometimes we don't have confirmation of everything from the Snap team. Like, like the Esme interaction, for instance. And last week on how it copies the 3-drop, we weren't sure if it worked with Surfer. That ended up proving false. And in the case of Prodigy, something that was clarified, which is definitely a benefit, is that Prodigy, if it copies an on-reveal card, it will reproc the on-reveal. So if somehow, there's a Doctor Doom, I'm just throwing Doctor Doom out there, but Doctor Doom somehow is in the 2 slot, and you play Prodigy on the 4 slot, you will get additional Doom bots. That was clarified by the Snap team, and that does increase his capabilities. And so I'm like, okay, do I move him up to 2.5? And then I continued to think about the card, and I just don't feel it. And I kind of want to be wrong because I think this card could potentially be fun, but I don't know if it's consistent or reliable enough to really be worth the investment.
Yeah, I do think a little bit of it is, and I hate to say it's like, because here's the thing. I was gonna say like getting our hands on the card but the problem is what I just said. It's not about where we think it could fit and finding the best case scenarios for the card. It's the actual scenarios that happen, right? So what you just said is a great example. It's like, oh yeah, you could have really great on reveal stuff going on with it, but at the same time, those working out aren't gonna happen all the time. This is what I will say about him, and I agree probably on a 2-star for now. I'm going to give him a 2, but I'm going to give him a good future because I think that, especially what we're going to talk about with the Fantastic Four today, like there's constantly new archetypes, there's constantly new cards coming out that copying an effect, especially at a low cost effect, can greatly increase your chance to win a game. And most importantly, and where he's going to fit the most is board wide effects, right? So if we get more of these board wide decks, which we're kind of getting with the Fantastic Four, we've seen this in the past. We've seen this with Patriot Zoo, whatever, Living Tribunal, some of his synergy we're going to go into. That's where he's going to shine the most because it doesn't matter as much of the randomness and what's being played. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he has that going for him. And that is one thing that if you do pull him from the snap pack, it's like, okay, I think there will be places for him in the future, even if it doesn't land like right away.
I do agree. Now, I'm not familiar with what the Fantastic Four will look like, but I think the key thing that really took me off Prodigy was we saw it with Captain Marvel, or not Captain Marvel, Captain Carter, where is the positioning, like the positioning macro considerations of the board state are impactful in Snap. Like, and so, you might have a situation where like he is the first card that has to go in a location and he's basically a like nude 3/4, which kind of sucks, right? And I thought about like, well, if I want to double an effect, like I could use Frigga. And I mean, that's a bit different, of course, because you're replaying the card. You also have doubling the effect of Moonstone. And on that note, I do think that like copying Moonstone actually is probably one of the coolest things that he can do because you get the power and you also get the double. It feels like a 3/4 onslaught when you use it on Moonstone to some degree, right? Which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, like I have some notes and I have some ideas, but like I just do not see this card being that impactful on launch.
Well, and that's
so maybe in the future.
And that's kind of what I meant by like I don't know how many scenarios where he has to be the first card down, but if it's board wide, it won't matter. So like we like him a little bit in Living Tribunal because it matters, but it doesn't. Like you do need to have him in the back row, and Tribunal is a bit more of a tight knit one, but I think as we continue to get cards that can boost again everything around it. Is that because like I think you mentioned him in Patriot last week, like that was a semi example of it where it's like, okay, Blue Marvel or Patriot could work because you're really like Ultron's really the finishing game plan anyway, right? Or whatever, right? So it's not that big of a deal where you're placing things what you're doing all the time. I mean, he won't ever be a 5-star card. There's just no shot of that happening. But I do think that he has a bit more of a future. He can go up, even potentially to a 4-star card if we get the right deck for him. But right now that deck, it just doesn't exist. Outside of Living Tribunal, outside of Patriot, like where are you going to test them day one?
So I have a couple ideas and they're a bit copy, but let's get through them. Now, the first thing I'll say is that one thing that really kept me down is I think that with Prodigy, he's very hard to play on curve because unless you're filling locations 1, 2, and then on 3, Prodigy comes down, how is he in the 3rd or 4th slot? And if you consider if you're playing on curve, it's most likely that even if you're playing on curve, you're copying the 1 slot, right? Like so you play Ant-Man, Goliath, Prodigy. Prodigy goes behind the Ant-Man, so you can't target the 2 cost. So the whole thing curve-wise is a nightmare, I think. So that's one thing worth considering. So that brings me down. I tried to do a little bit of like, okay, how can we get a little creative here? I think that he has the potential in a Doom 2099 deck to perhaps be impactful because you could copy, say, the Doom bots themselves and buff the Doom bots. You could potentially copy Doom 2099 and only play singular cards, and now you're getting more bots out faster as a quicker zoo. But then again, the curve is weird because you'd Zabu into Doom 2099 into Prodigy. How do you target the Doom 2099? Like, what's it look like? How are you playing in those lanes? So the macro side is so incredibly hard. And then I was like, what if you tried something like Iron Fist? Now, you want to talk about cope. What if you had like something like, I don't know, a Captain Carter down, and you play Prodigy onto the Captain Carter and you Iron Fist into another lane. You could use the Iron Fist to block one of the spots in the front to force it to land on the 3 or 4 spot in the location, right? So you can use
such cope. I love
I
it
know.
though. Like, that's so
Yeah,
much,
I know
like,
it's so
work.
cope, but you can use Iron Fist to force him to hit a specific card and then move into another location.
Can I ask this though? At a 3-5, is he good? Because at this point, then it's less about making him work for what his niche is and more about just having value that then can turn into good play, right? So, like, I don't know, for example, if you have Thanos, like, is it the worst thing in the world to play 2 stones and then you have him copy the stone, draw a card, 3-5, he has, you know what I mean? Like, at that point, you're just getting value that can transcend that value. Is that kind of what you think could work for him?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I just...
Does that make sense? Like,
he
it's not...
seems so awkward. Like, so here's a question for you, and it came up when you brought it up. So let's say he's a 3-5.
Okay.
Why did they decide to make him a 3-4? What was it that Glenn saw, the balance team saw, that said, oh, 3-5, man, that's too high for this guy. Like, this guy can do this thing. I don't see it, dude. This could be a 3-6, and, like, I think Luna Snow's better.
I just think that there are play lines that you'll be able to get down that you're going to be able to use it to its effect enough. I mean, I think we can agree that it's like Captain Carter. It's not it's not so much the power, it's the cost. Like, it's the awkwardness of the cost, because he is going to be a 3 cost that you play later. You're not going to play him on curve. Like, that's the most likely scenario for him. And so that's what makes it tough of where you're going to end up having to play him. To me, he does scream, like, you know how Ultron, we looked at him and it was pretty clear and obvious Infinity Ultron was a fun card. I think this is like when you get these cards, like almost like what Fastos was, where it's like these fun cards that are never good, but they're not all the way fun and they're not all the way good. So they're in this like awkward spot of neither. Does that make sense? Like, you know, Pixie, at least it's like, okay, you're a lot on the fun side, at least. It's not that great, but at least it's like a good time. Like, you're doing some crazy stuff. This kind of goes in the other camp of neither. And sometimes the cards that are just good, speed, is not fun at all. And so I feel like this is one that's in the middle.
You're right. And I don't see the draw here. And even here's a key thing. We're talking about a 3 cost and not talking about Surfer. Like, because you can't reliably hit even a Forge, right? What do you hit?
Because I thought about Surfer. You ready for this? It's like, oh, Brood, he can redo on reveals. Nope, Brood perfectly puts it behind the other Brood. So it doesn't like the Brood links. So he can never hit Brood in that scenario. I guess Sebastian Shaw you could hit and then Surfer him and get some value there. But then why are you doing that? What do you need that for, you know?
And even then, I often use Sebastian Shaw as like almost a single lane winner, right? So he would have to be in like the 1 slot. You have to play him behind Sebastian Shaw still. And I think that the reliability of setting him up so you can get a consistent effect on Prodigy is going to be too hard. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not sold on the card, but you know, I'd like to be surprised from time to time.
So what I did is I typed it on the comments of our last video, the term Prodigy, and usually we get people that are like, well, have you thought about this? And there's really not a lot. I mean, there's some people saying Tribunal. You're going to get a lot of that. For Prodigy, I think it's going to be Magic before turn 5. Turn 5 is Iron Man on free lane. Turn 6 is Mystique and Prodigy on that lane. That's that's a hard, yeah, because here's the thing. I think it's easy to make him seem good. It's just the reality of it happening. And we fell into that with Captain Carter, essentially, right? Prodigy and the Ancient One have too much overlap. Yeah, so no one, like, you know what I mean? Typically we get like, whoa, what about this? Really didn't see any of that with Prodigy. So we'll have to see where he fits in. I do think maybe he has a potential in the future to get better over time. Anytime we have these cards that do this, you know, can happen. But I personally think a 3-5 could make him interesting.
Could make him interesting. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, 3-4, I don't know. If you buy this on day 1, you have some god tier plan that no one else does, or you're FOMOing hard. Like, I think this is an ultimate wait and see card ultimately.
What's the good news is that it's again, the cards after him aren't like must have, and so at the end of the day, it's not going to be, you're not going to be in stitches if you double up your odds to get him. But what I did do is so right now the Fantastic Four first steps. We've talked about this before. We'll go into our next subject here. Anything you want to close out on him, by the way, or are you good?
No, I'm ready to go. Every time I talk negatively about a card, for the record, I want to be proven wrong. Like I want Prodigy to be successful. Why? Because there's going to be people that get it. He's also going to be entering the seasonal spotlight, spotlights, the snap packs. He's entering the seasonal snap packs. We don't want landmines. Every single card that gets pulled, we want it to have at least a home somewhere, right? And I think that Prodigy feels like it's probably going to have a home nowhere, and I think that's unfortunate.
Well, moving on, we don't know. The art, again, is just what I put together. This is not official, but we have the Fantastic Four first steps.
Beautiful.
Yeah, dude, this is cool. So a couple things. First of all, I did see Thunderbolts. I said before last time I was going to go see it. It was really good. I think it was, to say it was the best since in-game, I don't know if I agree with that statement. That's what I heard. I think the newer Spider-Man is probably better. No Way Home. And I like Shang-Chi a lot. I think those were tough to beat for me. But it was very strong and very solid and has me excited. And our next few movies are insane. We have this one, Fantastic Four First Steps, July. And then we have both the Avengers. So super exciting to see that. But this is going to be not the start, but the continuation, if you will, of them repurposing characters. And somewhat of a divided front. Some people love it, that we're going to be able to see characters be good again. Some would rather. I think in a game, I totally agree with this. The only thing is they're so good at OTAs that it makes me sad for the cards that they already are, right? Like Invisible Woman is not used a lot, so how could you repurpose that instead of making a new one? But that's not the conversation we're going to have so much today, unless you want to add to that before we jump in.
No, it's just Eliath came out. That's why Invisible Woman feels useless.
yeah, that's fair enough. Well, dude, okay, so usually, man, it's a big statement. This will change Snap, and I say that really without any hesitation because these are some really cool cards, and I don't know about you, but I would go and see let's say Rogue One when it came out, and I saw the last scene with Darth Vader just going crazy, and I would think to myself, man, I need to play a video game with Darth Vader. Like, I need to get in the world of it. And so they're very smart here. Obviously, Fantastic Four is going to do well, and they're going to probably, want to make these cards good so that if people want to come play Snap, they're playing with some solid cards that don't need other cards around them. And these are going to work all together as a family, obviously, as the Fantastic Four is, but then they also have a lot of synergy around them. So pretty exciting stuff. So we have Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, first up here. And he's a 2/3, Alex, with the ability end of turn. Give a card in your hand +2 power or -1 cost. So at the end of the turn, he's going to do this each and every time. Call me crazy, but is this not absolutely busted on most fronts? This seems like just a card that's going to go everywhere.
So basically, Fastos in shambles is what this is.
Complete shambles, but like this is. We talked about it last week. The 2-drop of the month, or the 2-drop of the quarter that comes out and just like reigns supreme. This seems way. I could see this. Mark this now. I could see this. Where the month is September, 2 months after this card's released, and it goes down to +1 power or -1 cost instead of +2 power.
Or it's a 2/1 or something. Listen, I think this card's really good. I think it's good. I have some hesitation with this or type statement. It's one of the frustrations with Fastos. I literally played like 12 hours of Fastos over the last 2 days. And not having a consistent effect is kind of annoying because sometimes you really want that discount, and then other times you really want that power, and you can't pick and choose. And so
what's an early star rating you would give it?
Oh man, early, if I had to right now, I would probably give it like a 3.5 to 4.
I think it's a 5-star.
Maybe
card.
4.
I think it's a 5-star.
You think this is 5-star?
I do.
I don't know, man.
Because listen, dude, no matter which way you go, playing him on curve, think about the either or. It just doesn't matter. He's a 2/5, okay? He's a 2/7, okay? True. He's a 2/9, he's a 2/11. You have that possibility. Or he's a 2/5 with a -3 cost. Or he's a nothing and he just gives you -4 cost, right? So I feel like it won't matter on the either or because you're just getting so much net value, and you can have the cards go below, go to free too. So you're getting cards that can be played for cheaper. That's always good. Or you're just getting plus possibly 4 power. Now I get it. If you play him later, it's not as good, but him being a 2/3 is what's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, he's probably definitely a solid 4 now that I think about it. 3.5 might be low. I was just thinking about the fact that, he hasn't like activate feels slow sometimes. This is obviously not activate, but it has a slowness to it where it's like it's a 2/3, it's 2 to the hand, right? Not, and you have to still play that card down, right? So he's not generating the power on the board, but here's the thing, Cozy, and this is where it has the 5-star potential. It's like you hit the +2 on a Nimrod, right, on turn 2, and then you turn, and then all of a sudden now you hit it with the -1 cost. It's like, okay, now I have a, for whatever Nimrod, it keeps getting buffed, and maybe you make something magical happen with some sort of like extra value play, right? And every single most powerful combo in Snap gets more powerful at reduced cost. So like, I do definitely see the potential here for sure. And let me just say, you should be doing the artwork because this is beautiful.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I found this. It wasn't.
I know you didn't draw it,
and the rest of them are way worse. It's just me getting stuff from the trailer. But let me say this. If you think this is broken now, just wait because I told you the family synergizes, right? So this is a season pass card, I believe. It's archetype, like it could go into any archetype, which is really cool too. I think this thing can truly go into most decks, like outside of like ones that
for sure.
Like that's one thing that's just crazy about it. Even like I hate that we bring up Surfer all the time, but even Surfer, even just power hungry decks, like a Surtur, it just doesn't matter. Like this thing always has its value in some way or another, and that excites me. Guys, I want you to keep in mind, end of turn is what this guy says, and you're going to see shortly. Now, this one, I'm going to go straight to this one because I think this is going to paint the picture for the rest that we're going to talk about. And you're going to start to, the wheels are going to start turning pretty quickly here before we get to the rest of them. Invisible Woman, first steps. A 3/4, Alex. Activate. Okay, hold on. This turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. All right, so this is going to be the card that sets us up for the other ones, but let's just start with Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. So now, at any given turn, after turn 3, you're going to have that ability happen twice, which is awesome. Now, I'm pretty hesitant against activate abilities that are higher in cost, but that's pretty exciting just for the Fantastic Four cards. But my God, Alex, if you think about how many cards in the game have end-of-turn abilities, your mind's going to start spinning.
I was just thinking, like, I'm trying to remember the exact text, but like a lot of the Evo cards.
Yep. Yeah.
A lot of the Evo cards, right?
Yep. Almost. So I think this will be the return of high Evo to the fullest degree because there's. Keep in mind, it's only one turn this is happening, but how crazy you could get this, to pop off. So here's some of our cards. We have Bruce Banner that essentially is going to have now a 66% chance on one. I guess, I don't know, the statistics may not work out, but you've got that happening.
You roll 33 twice, yeah.
Yeah, you're having 33 twice, right? So you've got that. Oh, and then how about Marvel Boy? Marvel Boy, that's such a crazy effect, bro.
I never even realized Marvel Boy had that text.
Bro, how stupid is this card? This is a really, like, I think you'll see, but I think that there's this Zoo deck that can work with Marvel Boy, Invisible Woman, Reed Richards that start to really cook. It starts to really make sense that you're like, hold on, because then Reed making a card either free or giving power to a 1 cost, you're like, whoa, and it continues to go crazy, bro. I'm not finished though. Check. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Not finished. Okay.
No,
I was gonna say, like, I was just thinking that, like, first of all, you got me completely pumped now because the Marvel Boy I had not considered. Now I'm trying to think about that. But even sticking with high Evo, like even an extra proc and like something like a Hulk. That's a lot. It's like that's 4 extra power at the end of a turn.
Bro, it keeps getting crazier. Like even Sunspot. Like, I don't know how that would work, but you would have it essentially in the high Evo deck, so that would work. Yeah. Hey, guess what? End of turn. Oh, Red Hulk proccing twice. You could have that happen if you do it at the very end of the game, which you'd probably want to. A lot of these, unless you're just trying to get like more value with Reed or whatever, you're going to want to just pop them all at the end. And then, yeah, you've got, and some of these aren't even turning up the right way because I'm pretty sure we have Misty Knight is in here. I don't know why she's.
Yeah, Misty Knight would be for sure.
You have Wasp. You have Misty Knight giving +1 power for all unspent energy. You have Cyclops doing the -1 power, and those are the main ones. But also you have the Hulk as well. All of these can re-trigger. So this is not only a good high Evo card, it's a good Marvel Boy Zoo card, and it's a good Mr. Fantastic card. I think this is going to be crazy when it comes to synergy.
Yeah, a lot of pew-pews coming out of that Cyclops there. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I do share the concern with the Activate side, but in this case, I wonder if Activate's better than on Reveal. Because if you're on Revealing, you don't have as many on the board. Whereas with Activate, as you said, you hold it to the end. and then like you basically do the thing, and then you do the activate, and then the Hulk is gonna double, and then like pew pews everywhere, and Misty Knight's gonna throw it twice and stuff.
That's what I'm thinking. And it's like, okay, even if you play her late, you know, let's say you play her on 4, okay, you can still play some of the activates that are 1 cost, right? Or you do her in a 1 cost. Let's say her and Misty Knight. It's still going to be great going into the last turn. Really, the only time, and it's into turn, and so it's like, yeah, you're wanting to have more on the board. I would say most of the time, you're going to want to do this either on, mostly always on turn 6, I would imagine, just for that last little bump up. But it's going to always hit the value at 3-4, in my opinion.
And
So-
I think it's going to likely be played on 4, because if you think about it, Cyclops 3, this on 4, you're floating energy, right?
Or
Cyclops
Marvel Boy,
pew-pews.
yeah, there's a lot of 3 costs I contend for this. And this was a little bit of my board wide effect that I was thinking with Prodigy. I'm not saying that this would be the Prodigy card, but like when stuff like this happens, you're getting more and more cards where it's like, oh, Prodigy could just copy that card. That's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get, you know what I mean? And so it doesn't matter
do.
where you play him, because Marvel Boy is going to be Marvel Boy is going to go up to an insane value card with something like this. And as you continue to read these, just wait, because you're going to go, oh, okay, Zoo does make a lot more sense. But yeah, so you've got Mr. Fantastic into turn card. You've got this card as an activate. Next card we've got up. Let's go to, oh, this one's fun. The Thing. All right, so the Thing here is a 5/6 into turn. This one's tough to even like process. +2 power. Okay, so into turn, Thing's going to gain +2 power. So at minimum, he's a 5/10. Once per game, if your side is full, destroy an enemy card here with lesser power. So if you fill your side up, aka with a Zoo deck, but if you fill your side up, he will destroy an enemy card with lower power. This guy can get up to a 5/10, but with Mr. Fantastic making him cheaper, you could get even further than that. But on top of that, you also have, wait for it, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, to give him even more power, thus making his power threshold higher. So you can get rid of tech cards or just big, powerful beasts with this guy.
This is pretty neat. And actually, for what it's worth, in the trailer, he's by far my favorite character. And I don't know if that's consistent, but he looks so awesome in it. But no, this actually looks really interesting. It has the Spider-Man 2099 feel to it, but it doesn't have to move. And it actually, I wonder if the activation's easier or harder, filling the location on a deck like that. I'm just trying to think. Power-wise, it's particularly interesting. I like the design. It definitely reads like a Magic the Gathering card, though.
Yeah. Oh, some of these are going to, trust me. So that's why I think in a Zoo style deck, you could fill your location up pretty easily. How much do you actually want to utilize that and, you know, destroy the other side? Like, are you going to want to or need to do that? Either way, though, I just think it's crazy that you have at minimum with Invisible Woman a 5/12, but you can go, right? So you're 5/10 or 5/12. So right then there, power's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I like it. And once you start to consider the potential synergy in Zoo with Marvel Boy, Invisible Woman, and etc., this actually does look pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. I like the design. It's a really interesting design.
So we've got the Thing. What would you give him? What would you give Invisible Woman, and what would you give the Thing on a star basis?
These rankings are so hard because I like really dwell on the rankings for a long time. They all seem particularly strong. Invisible Woman feels like, for me, like probably a 4.5, just because I'm that hyped up. I have a concern with the cost and a concern with the slowness of the activate ability. But this might be a circumstance where the Invisible Woman activate ability is actually a superpower because of the end of turn functionality of it. Ben here, his name's Ben, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ben Grimm.
Good. Yeah, that's right. I would probably go 4. I think that Invisible Woman's better.
Yeah, to me, I feel like obviously the season pass card is the one you want, but then Invisible Woman is like the one of the month because that's the activate, or that's the archetype anchor, kind of. I mean, essentially, like that's the card. Like you don't have to have these are all gonna make her better, and they do that on purpose to probably sell more, right? But like she can fit in already designed decks, and what's really cool is moving forward, end of turn now can be a keyword we're looking out for because you have that huge synergy.
I will say that Mr. Fantastic feels like a great season pass card because even if you're not collection complete and you're not min-maxing decks, he could probably kind of go everywhere. Like really, anywhere. Isn't he just a great 2-drop for anybody just to buy and
he's a crazy
fill a spot with?
Yeah, he's a crazy 2-drop. I'd actually be surprised if he comes out at 2/3, but I think they will. I don't think he'll be a 2/2. Doesn't have a season pass card brokenness to it, right? Doesn't feel the same. I would agree probably with your rankings. I do think the Thing is really good, though. I think we're undermining how strong this guy can get. Human Torch, a 3/2. Human Torch, end of turn, +1 power. once per game. If your side is full, double this card's power instead. So you've got a 3 cost. This one is like, I like the thing way better than this one, because this one you have a lot of things going. You gotta have to kind of deal with it to make it go crazy. So like if you played on 3, 3, 3, 4, it's a 4, 4, 4, 5, 4. So you can get it. You could get it technically to a 312, technically.
I think he's interesting, but like if you think about the power potential of the original Human Torch, I think it's higher than this. So this might be the weakest of the bunch.
Yeah. So this is the way I'm thinking. It's like the way I'm reading all these, you just absolutely are going to want to play it with low cost cards, because if let's say you have a zoo deck, these are starting to step on each other's toes. Like if you have Marvel Boy at 3 cost, you have Invisible Woman at 3 cost. Okay, then you have him at 3. It's like, how are you going to make all these work? And a lot of that engine, I think a lot of the win conditions will come through Mr. Fantastic by reducing that cost. But as you said, can't guarantee the reduction of cost. So then it's like, how are these working? Now, keep in mind, Mr. Fantastic gives +2 power. So then it makes him almost a win con. That's the thing. If you do fill a location with like 1s, he can finish it off as like a... Dude, this guy could get to crazy. I think this one we're sleeping on a tad, because think about right now with Surge and like Scarlet Spider deck, some of the stuff we're seeing right now, he does kind of fit into that kind of fine. These archetypes that are giving power.
Yeah, you're right. And the other thing I'm thinking about is that like maybe, just maybe, like what about like Elsa and Kitty Pryde? Like Elsa, you're filling locations, you use Elsa to play him in, give him the Elsa buff, then double the power after the end of the turn. I think there's some potential there. Early thinking here, I don't have anything concrete to say, but I was thinking about like what Elsa Bloodstone is, another card that wants to fill locations, right?
Yep, you could do that. You could go Kahori, you could go Galacta. Like there's a lot of ways to give this guy power, fill up that location, and then all of a sudden he goes from this 3-6 to bam, 312 wins the game, or 3-8, bam, is 16. So even though he can't go as high as Human Torch on a move deck, I think he's he's definitely easier to slot into more decks. And he's kind of an independent card compared to others.
What about Ultron? Because Ultron fills locations, right? So like the Thing and this card here, you can more or less play them on curve with Ultron.
That's kind of cool. That's actually kind of wild. Yeah, you could get that thing going. What? It's really awesome, because I think that they want these cards to be good. And I think most of these, like we've talked about how many seasons are kind of looking a little suspect, but this season it completely looks strong, across the board.
Yeah, I agree. I hadn't seen these before, and so talking through them with you now is it's actually got me a little bit excited. And I hope they do it right with like the branding of the Fantastic Four first steps and stuff. And
yeah.
I hope that like the cards are distinct enough. It's also worth noting that this is kind of a random thought, but I think it's kind of sad that even if like Marvel Snap gets people to come in with like, oh, it's the Fantastic First Step season, get into Snap, and then people come, but they can't play with the cards.
Yeah.
So it almost would feel like the new user experience, you should almost give them, here's the Fantastic Four, like start your Marvel Snap journey or something like that.
That's a hell of a way to start.
Like, yeah. Do you know how sad it would be if you're like, I want to play, the Fantastic Four, and it's like, oh, bro, that'll be 2 years from now.
Yeah. Good luck getting Marvel Boy in a random slot or whatever. But then that's maybe when we see our first like Snap Pack dedicated pack.
Yeah.
Thing, maybe.
Oh, yes. Good call.
They could do that. Next up, man, we've got the Fantasticar here. And Fantasticar is a 4/6, Alex, okay? This one to me screams a little like not exactly it's not going to be in the month. I mean, this is a series 4 card in my opinion, but activate, give your end of turn cards +2 power. So it's a 4/6 that gives every single end of turn card +2 power. But it's an activate, it's a 4 cost card with only 6 power. 2 cards make it a 4/10. Is this something that is reliable and can be played?
The only challenge here is like how many activate cards you want to put in a single deck so your turn 5 and 6 are completely useless. It's like, you know what I mean? It's not so much turn 5, of course, but turn 6 specifically. You got to do something eventually. I don't think it's terrible. I mean, if you're going to be leaning into this end of turn shenanigans, it's not bad. It's just funny that like if you think about Cyclops is potentially generating more value than just this is providing. Like, yeah, of course it's a buff, but just letting the end of turn things do their thing, it makes it feel strong. Like, for instance, Sunspot. assuming Sunspot can double whammy on the floated energy and doesn't like consume it and only does it once or something that we don't really know about mechanically. If Sunspot can double proc, that's way more power than just like +2 or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes the end of turn effect is stronger than the buff this is providing.
Yeah, and I think they were very smart in making it where it's the end of turn effect, but then also fill the location, because what's happening is, okay, let's say you play him on 3 and Fantastic Car on 4. It's like you're not able to have enough cards on the board to get the because it's like, okay, hey, you could get Torch's power up to 3-4 automatically very easily. Plus he's getting +1 power. So the more I think about it, I think actually Torch is going to be kind of crazy. Torch has the ability to go up to some mad power, bro. Like pretty. Some insane numbers if we start to look at some of these cards. But yeah, the Testacar, I think, is probably the least exciting of the bunch and the most narrow by far. But I think it will amp up the deck archetype if that's what you're, wanting to play solely as this end of turn stuff. But like you said, is it going to be even worth that card spot at the end of the day? My feeling is no. But how hard is it going to get, to get Torch up anyway? If it proves harder, then maybe you slot him in. All right, next one. This one's a good one. This one I think is going to be in the main month here. You got Herbie, a little robot Herbie. Okay, he's a 2/2, Alex. This is probably one of the most creative cards I've seen. So it says, each turn this is in play, swap to a new activate ability until one is used. Okay, so he's a 2/2 with like almost a Nico design. Okay, so these are the abilities. Activate. Next turn you get +2 energy below. That one's not bad. That's on what? That to me, just starting with that one, seems like a great. You don't get to pick, but man, if you get that on turn 3, man, you got yourself that is the best one.
That's pretty damn solid, yeah. But deck building around it might be difficult. Like you can't, you know what I mean? We'll have to see how many options are there.
Yeah. So remember we said that Nico was going to be bad. Now she's on reveal, but Nico was going to be bad because there's too much variance. Like there's only 4 options. So you have that one. You have activate, give your cards at adjacent locations +1 power. So he's a 2/4. That one's clearly not good. Or not the one you're looking for. Activate, create a rock with 4 power here. Create a rock with 4 power here. So this is a way to fill your locations for the other cards, for the Thing and for Human Torch.
Prodigy.
And this makes him a 2/6.
Yeah, that's cool.
Prodigy. And then activate, double this card's power. So obviously, if you have the Fantastic Car, if you have other ways to get, power to this guy, now you're starting to see why these giving powers, and most importantly, Mr. Fantastic giving power. So you can make this go from a 2/4 to 2/8, 2/10.
They really went hard on the activate this month, eh? Like super hard.
They did, super hard. So into turn activate. So this one's interesting to me. Obviously, the energy one is the one you're looking for, but then if you don't get this, I think either the prize of the +4 power rock is pretty good with what the deck wants to do, and doubling the card's power has a lot of potential too. But if that one shows up at the wrong time, you don't want to use it. So there's only 4, and that 2 of them seem strong at any point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I absolutely agree. And yeah, you're right. Nico has shown us that sometimes variances could be a superpower. Like if Nico's in a deck, like you can't really anticipate what your opponent's going to do with it, right? So I kind of agree. I think it might be better than first meets the eye.
But biggest problem is it's when this is in play. So Nico is happening in your hand. This has to be in play. So you do have that, in play. Plus also activate. So turn 6, I guess turn 6 you could do the rock one or the double. Actually, no, not turn 6, turn 5, right? So a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, so those are the main ones. Last 2 I want to give, we don't know where these are going to come, whether they come after or not. We'll quickly go through them. We've got Mole Man. This one reads to me like a magic card all the way. On reveal, banish the top card of your deck. Banish. Add 2 rocks to your hand with power set to the banished card's cost.
Okay, I'm interested. I like it. So basically, I'm assuming the rock's going to be 1 cost, right?
You would think so. You would think that they're going to be just cheap. So I feel like, and I don't have this guy's stats.
Banish Hulk, get 224 in power.
Yeah, that seems probably a little strong. I wonder how high up this guy's power and cost is. It does have it, but I can't find it. Mad Thinker, at the start of each turn, gain +2 power if your hand is full after you draw.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a strange design. I don't even know what to think of that one.
Isn't that a bit weird? Yeah, here, you know what?
Yeah, that is a weird one. I don't even know. Like, we actually don't really have cards that interact with hand size.
That's why both these kind of read to me as like a little bit of magic cards because, okay, so Mole Man, by the way, for the record, is a 3/3. So that's actually pretty damn good if you make your deck
I just
around
realized
it.
I said something so stupid because both Ronin and Devil Dinosaur interact with hand size. So I'm just getting ahead of the comments here.
just get just get out of the comment section. Quote of the day. And then also Mad Thinker. Man, that made me laugh. Mad Thinker. Let's see what this guy is. Mad Thinker is a 1/1. That can't be right.
Yeah, it's probably just a placeholder.
At the start
we're
of
kind
each
of
turn,
dipping,
game plus. Yeah, we're getting
dipping into
further.
this early here.
Getting further into it. Anyway, that's fantastic. 4th season. I said it will change Snap because I quite literally think it makes a new archetype and adds what we don't get a lot. Cards that can fit just about anywhere and have a bunch of synergy together, bud. Easily the most excited I am for a season coming up.
Yeah, and honestly, it's going to do something with Activate. Like, it's legit
Yeah.
going to do something with Activate. It's buffing a lot of archetypes that need a little bit of love. And so, like, even Evo, like, you might think, oh, I see Evo all the time right now. But yeah, you're seeing Evo in the Ajax shell simply for A-Bomb. And now you have truly a high evolutionary enabling system here. So, yeah, no, this is actually pretty awesome. I'm excited for it.
And here's the most exciting thing. We're not going to go into all of them, but this is like, wait, what? I think all of these have skill cards or something to do with skill cards. So like Clobber in Time, on reveal, move the thing to this location. He can repeat the destroy ability in the game. Okay, like holy crap, right? But then it's like Flame on reveal, add a Human Torch's power to the next card you play. So these are all gonna have skill cards. It looks like they're very early concept, but that's awesome because now if you have these cool interaction cards with skill cards attached to them, now I hope they don't come and dilute the deck. We don't want that. I don't think so. Then because then you're getting like Human Torch, and then you get the you don't want, if you didn't play him, you have the Flame on. What are you gonna do with that, right? So it's a little bit awkward. But anyway, man, let's move on to the Snap Reddit review. All right, guys, so Reddit in review. Alex and I are going to be looking at the top of Reddit and reacting to what we see into the podcast. We will definitely describe to you. First up, we have a Dan Hip Thunderbolt art, and this Dan Hip, man, I feel like his stocks were like this. They've kind of like people have tamed down a bit on the hip, but this is a masterpiece.
I still like Dan Hip's art. I just find myself, I really like the photorealistic, like fantasy stuff a lot. And so I tend to go over that, but I still run a few hips. Like the Beast hip was one of my absolute favorites for the longest time until I got the Flaviano, which Flaviano's coloring is just incredible. But yeah, no, I think this looks awesome here. And it makes me, I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet. Is Shadow Dude relevant there?
Yeah, that's, oh, I don't want to spoil it.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't say, if it's supposed to be a surprise, don't say anything. But
you know who he
Shadow
is
Dude.
is all I'll say. That's all I'll say. What does this one mean, Alex? We have code tax cap in store.
Yeah, so if you go to marvelsnap.com and then you go to the top right to the shop, and in the redeem section, you type in all caps, PAXCAP, PAX Cap, you will get the Penny Arcade Captain America variant for free from last year.
I saw that they're giving out the card back from last year. I was a little sad. I'm glad and sad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy that more people get it, but I was also like, dang, because it was a cool exclusive.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, exclusives are always cool when you're the guy that has it, right?
That's true.
But yeah, like if they're going to be doing something similar to that, then like the year of exclusivity is pretty neat. But yeah, the art's fantastic, and I think there's, as I think I mentioned already on this podcast, there's a Penny Arcade, what's it called, album coming out. So this might be in the album. I don't know. May as well get it for free.
Remember when this was considered the best card in the game, and we have Jeff a 2/3? That feels like a eternity ago at this point, man. But I think was Jeff the longest running best card in the game? Like, I think so. Like, it had that, because like we at least could give that to him, and I feel like nowadays that's super controversial which one is.
If you want power creep in a photograph, this is it essentially. Like a 2/3 that just moved and can be played anywhere is definitely not good enough anymore. It's also worth noting that Jeff was super popular because Professor X was a menace at the time.
Yeah.
Professor X got completely taken out of the game. Like, he doesn't even exist now anymore. And so Jeff was used offensively and defensively with Professor X. And so those decks were prevalent for long enough that I think that Jeff remained relevant.
And keep in mind, I think between Snap and Rivals, but because of the popularity of those two games, I think we are going to get some kind of Jeff Easter egg, Jeff showing something in Doomsday or the Avengers. I think that they're going to show him in some capacity. He's gotten too big to not capitalize him on the MCU.
Of course, man. Jeff's got to be in there. He's got to be in there. I love the comics, even though they read more like kind of like visual novels. Not even novels. There's no words in most of them. But yeah, Jeff's amazing.
Snap packs are getting out of hand as we have a shiny Blastoise. I pulled one of these actually.
You pulled one of these out of your snap pack?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I wanted a Prodigy and I got a Blastoise. I don't even think I'd be mad about this, even if it was fundamentally useless.
No, I would definitely take I would take a 6. Oh, I like the fact that it's a 6/9.
It's the extra bit there that does it for me. Yeah, Blastoise coincidentally is probably easily my top 3. It's in my Mount Rushmore. New Uncle Ben sound effect is amazing. Have you I'm sure you've heard this.
I've heard it now. Yeah, I didn't quite understand what he says, and then I'm like, oh, it's because he just got capped. Yeah.
He dies. Yeah. This is up. The first time you heard this, it had to have a little smile, a little chuckle to you.
Cozy, do a reenactment of it.
With great power comes. Ah! That was pretty good. That was actually really good.
Yeah, that was good. That was solid.
That was really good. I'm actually proud of that one. Ooh, here we go. Nobody has commented yet, but skill cards, they look like this now. Are you a fan or not a fan, Alex?
I haven't played Agamotto to see them, so I don't know.
Looking at them right here, guys, there is a giant circle with just the cost and the name. I actually like this. I think they definitely needed to make somewhat of a difference between skill cards and not, and we're about to get a lot more.
Buddy, they literally look like bolts of ballsack on the screen right now.
They do. Friendly reminder that Eliath was able to pull this off back in the day.
Oh, it's going to delete everything.
Dude.
Oh my God. It's honestly heartbreaking to watch.
This card lasted so long too. Like so. How long was main Eliath in the game?
I don't know, man. It felt like at least 4 months minimum before they started kind of changing it, OTAing it, patching it. And I will say it's funny because I almost want to go back to that episode of the SC where we talked about it. And I feel like both of us knew it was going to be good, but we didn't identify it as like the card of the month.
We need to do a reaction. We need to go back. What we need to do for an episode is the whole episode. I just go to the top 10 most broken cards today, and we go back to when they released and what we said about them, and we just react to it.
Oh, that's going to be so embarrassing.
Yes, but also, I think incredible. I think
there's going to be a lot more like, this card looks like it's going to be good. Oh, Loki's a good example of that too. Oh, you were actually excited about Loki from like just a flavor perspective. That card broke the game.
I was like, yeah, this is gonna be something I'm gonna play a lot. Like, I can't wait. Hopefully, it's like niche enough and good enough to use, and then it's just like completely cracked. And Dum Dum Duggan looks different. Rest in peace, Dum Dum. Rest in peace.
We have no idea where Dum Dum is. I still love the fact that whoever programmed the announcement for Dum Dum is now available in Series 4. Didn't even bother to change it when Toxie came out instead. It's
They're
hilarious.
Like, nah, just leave it. They're like, sir, it says everybody's getting a free Airship. Fine, don't worry about it. No one reads those things anyway. Guys, thank you so much for coming to yet another episode of the Snapchat. This is Prodigy Week, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the Fantastic Four conversation. On Alex's side, we're going to talk about Surge and Esme, and then we're going to talk about hot and rising cards and the Snapchat mailbag. We'll see you guys then. If you go to Pass East, say hi to Alex. Until the next one, happy snapping.